Hola estudiantes, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Aquí comenzamos el capítulo número 2, ¿ok? Capítulo número 2. El capítulo número 2 se llama En casa, ¿verdad? Y vamos a hablar de una ciudad española, pero también vamos a hablar de la casa, vamos a hablar de los colores, vamos a hablar de los muebles, so the things that we have inside of the house, furniture, right? Muebles, los muebles. Vamos a hablar de los números, ¿verdad? Los números, ¿sí? Entonces, vamos a ver qué vamos a aprender en esta sección, ¿verdad? En este capítulo, esta semana. Esta semana, this week, ¿verdad? ¿Qué vamos a aprender? How to express opinions and preferences, ¿ok? Las opiniones y las preferencias. También vamos a describir personas, lugares, cosas, things, ¿verdad? Also, vamos a hablar de nuestra casa, de la casa. We're going to talk about la casa. Vamos a hablar de las actividades, ¿sí? Y vamos a decir, we're going to say, ¿dónde? ¿Dónde estamos? ¿Verdad? Y ¿dónde están otras personas? También vamos a decir cómo estamos. ¿Dónde estamos y cómo estamos? How we feel and where we are located. ¿Ok? Bien, en la sección de hablamos de, in this one, vamos a hablar de una ciudad española, una ciudad. Una ciudad, por ejemplo, Nueva York, es una ciudad, la ciudad de Nueva York. Una ciudad española, por ejemplo, es Barcelona. Otra ciudad española es Madrid, ¿sí? Entonces, ¿qué vas a hacer? What are you going to do? Take a look. Start decoding the picture. Okay. A ver, look at the image of Isabel and her friends in Barcelona. Then choose the correct answer to complete the sentences based on what you see and can infer, okay, from the image. Aquí en esta imagen, estos chicos están en la calle, no están en la casa, están en la calle, ¿sí? Están en una ciudad en España. Y hay 4 chicos, 4 personas, ¿sí? Hay 2 chicas y hay 2 chicos. Remember, the meaning of I is there is, there are. So 2 meanings. I, H-A-Y. H-A-Y. ¿Sí? And the questions here are, ¿quién es Isabel? ¿Quién es Isabel? ¿Quién es la profesora? ¿Quién es el estudiante? So, in this case, ¿quién es Isabel? La segunda pregunta, ¿qué tiene Isabel en las manos? ¿Qué tiene Isabel en las manos? ¿Sí? ¿Qué tiene Isabel en las manos? Luego, ¿en qué país están los amigos? ¿Dónde están? ¿En qué país? ¿Dónde están? ¿Qué aparece en la foto? ¿Qué aparece en la foto? ¿Es una escuela? ¿Es un monumento? ¿Es un hospital? ¿Qué aparece en la foto? ¿Qué hay atrás en esta calle, verdad? En esta ciudad. Bien, once that is done, I urge you to read, lee, ¿verdad? It's important to read because that's how you develop another competence, comprehension, and acquiring more vocabulary. ¿Sí? Bien. And that is taking place especially when you are reading and everything is in context. Okay? So you can start inferring, inferir, ¿verdad? A ver, read more about Isabel and find out the name of the structure in the photo and who designed it. Okay. ¿Cómo se llama el edificio? ¿Quién es el arquitecto? ¿Qué otra obra es del mismo arquitecto? ¿Sí? Bien. So also, you're going to find in this section apuntes. In this case, it's about las ciudades españolas. So please read about the cultural component in this section. Okay? Bien. So here, you're supposed to go and listen to track number 20. To have access to track number 20, you can click on multimedia and then select audios. And then you select the one that you need, in this case, number 20. Okay? Bien. So listen to the dialogue and pay a lot of attention to the pronunciation of the dialogue. If you can read along, that's a perfect practice. Okay, and then try to decide if these statements are true or false. See, once that is done, I urge you to practice our first expression of opinion. Okay. A ver, so in this case, you have here a dialogue between the two students. One is showing photos, and as you can see, the photos are here next to you. Parque Güell, La Casa Milá, etc., etc. See? And then the other student is saying, qué bonitas son las fotos. And then the next question is, ¿cuál es tu favorita? ¿Cuál es tu favorita? ¿Cuál es tu foto favorita? Once you start answering that question, you're expressing your opinion because you are selecting. Once you start selecting, you are expressing an opinion. Okay? Para mí es esta de, let's say, Casa Milá, for example. ¿Verdad? That's my favorite one. So I'm giving you already my selection and expressing my opinion. Para mí. Okay? Para mí es esta. Casa Milá. And then my friend is asking, ¿qué es? What is it? ¿Qué es? Then I'm going to reply, es una casa. Es una casa, ¿verdad? Es Casa Milá. Es una casa. So start memorizing and putting this dialogue together. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. En la parte siguiente, página 44, here we are going to learn vocabulary, ¿verdad? Specifically colors. Okay? Now, we are going to use recycled vocabulary from the previous chapters. In this case, chapter 0. ¿Sí? A ver. So, track number 21. And pay attention to little details like this. Marrón. Another option for marrón will be color café. And then another option will be castaño for marrón. Naranja. Anaranjado. And then rojo. Colorado. Make connections with things that you already know. For example, color. ¿Verdad? Colorado. To express red. Bien. And then rosado, morado. Here, of course, you're going to learn the colors, okay, by clicking on track number 21. It's important that you pay attention to the gender, okay, of the noun that you're describing. Because in Spanish, we have to keep an agreement between the subject, ¿verdad? Or the noun and the adjective. See? If I'm talking about a board that is black, then board is feminine. And then the color black, negro, has to be modified. It has to stay in the feminine form and in the singular form because board is only one. Okay, la pizarra, femenino and singular. La pizarra es negra. If I'm talking about many boards, it will be las pizarras son negras. And then I have the agreement. Okay? Bien. So, in this section, you can practice the agreement. Okay? For example, over here, el cielo, the sky. El cielo es azul. In the case of azul, we don't have to modify. It can stay the same. Now, let's go to el edificio. El edificio, since it's ending with O, I know that is masculine. Also, to double check, I take a look at what is in front of my noun. In this case, it's el. Every time that I have el, I know that I'm dealing with a masculine noun. If I have la, I know that I'm dealing with a feminine noun. Okay? In the case of calle, you see, it doesn't have an O or an A. So then I must go to what is in front to know the gender. In this case, it's feminine because it has la calle. See? La calle. And let's say that I want to say that the street is black. I'm going to say la calle es negra. If I want to take a look at this picture and I see in here that is not black, that is gray, then I'm going to say la calle es gris. Okay? Bien, so keep practicing and pay attention to singular and plural, to femenino and masculino. ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, last one. Los árboles, the trees, ¿verdad? Los árboles son verdes. Because verdes with the S at the end is expressing plural. Okay? Verdes. Bien. Let's move on to the next page. Here, we're paying attention to la casa, mi casa. See? Over here in this section, we know more vocabulary. El cuarto, la recámara equals to el dormitorio. El dormitorio o el cuarto are synonyms. Okay? La sala de estar equals to el salón. In America Latina, we use la sala. We use the short form. Okay? In Spain, they use el salón de estar. And then, in America Latina, we can use el apartamento o el departamento, ¿verdad? But in Spain, they're going to use el piso. Okay? El piso, the floor. In this activity, I want you to read the descriptions and identify the room, okay, of the house. And then the next one is about colors, okay? ¿De qué color es la cocina? ¿De qué color es el dormitorio? ¿De qué color es el cuarto de baño? ¿De qué color es el salón? Try to answer, okay, in complete sentences. La cocina es, and then you add the color. Make sure that you have the agreement, okay, because we're talking about la cocina, that's feminine, and it's singular. So your color, which is the adjective, has to agree, okay? Bien, and then listen to another student talk about her favorite rooms and colors, and then match. Again, go to track number 22. You can get to the track number by selecting multimedia and audios. And then look for that. The number 22nd, not 22. Okay? Bien. In this section, you are going to read. Okay? Read about these two ads. Okay. And then complete the card below with the information from the ad. Okay. Include information you would consider to be an advantage, ventaja, or disadvantage, una desventaja, ¿verdad? Read about it, pay attention, try to decode, try to inferir, ¿verdad? What is telling you. And then you can move on to the next page. In this one, we are going to talk about our favorite things, okay? And we're going to practice how to ask another person about his or her favorite thing. For example, let's think about sports, ¿verdad? ¿Cuál es tu deporte favorito? And then how to reply. Please pay a lot of attention. Do not use English syntax. Okay, so you have to pay a lot of attention here. Mi deporte favorito es el tenis. In English, you will start with my favorite. You're going to give me favorite first. And then you're going to add the thing. In Spanish, we do the opposite. Okay, so keep that in mind. Mi deporte favorito instead of my favorite sport. Okay. ¿Cuál es tu animal favorito? ¿Es el perro? ¿Es el gato? ¿Cuál es tu animal favorito? And again, the same structure to answer. Mi animal, and then favorito es, and then I say el perro, el gato, ¿sí? ¿Cuál es tu comida favorita? Ah, mi comida favorita es la pasta. Mi comida favorita es la pizza. Mi comida favorita es la comida mexicana. And then, ¿cuál es tu asignatura favorita? Mi asignatura favorita es historia, matemáticas, español, inglés, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Sí? Here, you see how it's working in terms of, within a dialogue, okay? So, ¿cuál es tu habitación favorita en casa? Now we're changing the subject. We are not talking about only deporte, comida, asignatura, ¿verdad? Or animal. We are talking about the house. So, after practicing this and after learning this structure, you can start asking another person about other things. What is your favorite song, for example, ¿verdad? What is your favorite music? What is your favorite classroom? Sorry, don't mind me. Anyway, and then how to answer. Para mí es la cocina. Para mí es, and then you mention, okay? And if we want more details, how do we ask? ¿De qué color es? Let's say that we want to know a detail about the color, ¿verdad? Es blanco, es negro. Ojo, we keep the agreement. Since in this case, they're talking about la cocina, when she is answering about the color, the question about the color, she's going to use blanca instead of blanco. And she's going to use singular because la cocina is singular. See? So, after that, I want you to keep practicing, okay, how to formulate that question. ¿Cuál es tu? And then you have here some options. Asignatura, deporte, mascota, comida o ciudad. ¿Cuál es tu ciudad favorita? Mi ciudad favorita es Nueva York. ¿Cuál es tu mascota favorita? O tu animal favorito. Mi mascota favorita es un gato. Here you have some categories. For example, asignatura. So you have arte, biología, ciencias, economía, and these are cognates. So they are easy to remember. Historia instead of history, ¿verdad? Instead of historia. Do not produce the sound, okay? It's an H. So in Spanish, the H is silent. So we are going to say historia, okay? Literatura, informática, matemáticas, música. See? Let's say that you don't see your favorite one. Pick one that is here. So you learn what is here first. I need you to practice what is here first to know this vocabulary. Okay? So you pick from here what is your favorite one. Okay? Not necessarily the reality. Okay? Because the reality can be very complex. And for now, we want to do simple stuff. Okay? Bien, and then here, deportes, el baloncesto o el básquetbol, el béisbol, el fútbol americano, el golf, el tenis o el voleibol. And then la comida, el pescado, la carne, el pollo, la fruta, la verdura, el pan. Again, do not go to the dictionary to get your fancy response. No, pick from here. Learn this first. Okay, that's what I'm going to evaluate. Okay, bien. And then in this section, we are moving forward within the house. We're going to be talking about what is inside of the house, what is inside of those rooms in the house. Okay, so it's important to connect. Okay, listen to track number 23. Okay, and start making connection. Take a guess. Okay, so el armario, la estufa, la cama, el horno, la bañera, el lavabo, la ducha, la mesa, el espejo y la cómoda, la mesilla, la estantería, el sofá. First, you try. Okay? Once you have tried, then you can go to the end of the chapter to look for the meaning of those words. Okay? But you have to force yourself to try. Okay? Challenge yourself. Otherwise, what you're going to be doing is moving information from one place to another, and then your brain is going to take longer to memorize. Okay? So that's why these exercises are like this, because they are going to challenge your brain, number one, but number two, they're going to help you in the decoding process, and number three, they are going also to help you to process the information in a different way so you can recall easily. Okay? Bien. And then try to organize them by categories. La cocina, el dormitorio, el cuarto de baño, el salón. Remember, el salón in America Latina is called la sala. Okay, la sala. And then we move to this section. This is something that we are going to do also in the voice thread. Okay. Tengo, ¿qué tengo o qué hay en tu habitación? ¿Qué hay en tu dormitorio? Habitación and dormitorio are synonyms. Think about habitat, okay? And you can make that connection. Habitación is where I live, but specifically where I sleep, okay? Dormitorio o habitación. Entonces, ¿qué tengo? Tengo un dormitorio muy bonito, tengo una cama azul, tengo una mesilla marrón, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Sí? And then practice. Acá tenemos los números, so listen to the numbers. Listen carefully and pronounce them after you have heard them, okay? Pay attention to the exclamation mark, okay? Importante. Ejercicio 2.15. Write the words for the numbers you hear. and then try to check your answer. Here, what I want you to practice here is the dialogue, the conversation, okay? Por ejemplo, the question will be, ¿cuánto cuesta la mochila? ¿Cuánto cuesta, por ejemplo, la silla? ¿Cuánto cuesta la mesilla? And then try to provide your answer. Cuesta, okay? Cuesta $31. Cuesta $45. Here, more questions. ¿Cuánto cuestan la silla blanca y la cómoda? Fíjate that in this question, we don't have cuesta, we have cuestan. And why is that? Why? Well, because we have la silla and then we have la cómoda. So we have plural. And then my verb has to agree too. See? So if we want to express more opinions, we have some other expressions. But remember, not only you will have an opinion. Other people will have their opinion too. So we have to learn how to express that. So if you're talking about yourself, that will be para mí. If you're talking about another person, it will be para él, para ella, okay? Or para ti, for you. ¿Sí? Para usted, para nosotros, para vosotros, para ustedes, para ellos. And then you mention the thing that you're talking about, el español, la comida, la música, and after that, you're going to give me an adjective. You're going to describe that thing. In this case, we have el español. El español es fantástico. Pay attention, fantástico is going to behave like the colors, okay? So fantástico has to agree in terms of gender and number with the thing, okay? So if I'm talking about la música, then I cannot use fantástico. I have to say, para mí, la música es fantástica, ¿sí? And then I have genial, genial, fácil, divertido o divertida, interesante, importante, aburrido o aburrida, difícil, difícil. Another way to express opinion will be en mi opinión, okay? En mi opinión, or pienso que la música es fantástica. Or creo que la música es fantástica. Opino, opinion, ¿verdad? Opino que la música es interesante. ¿Sí? Then if I want to ask another person, and for you, then I can say, y para ti, y para usted, ¿sí? Para mí también, if I want to, agree with that person who said already his opinion or her opinion, I can say, oh, for me too, ¿verdad? Para mí también, ¿verdad? True. Sí, es verdad. ¿Qué crees? What do you think? What do you think? ¿Qué crees? Creo que sí. Creo que es importante. Ah, para mí no. No es verdad. No, creo que no. Creo que la música no es interesante. I'm lying. Es muy interesante. Bien, after that, read this, listen to the audio, ¿verdad? To check your answers. Complete the conversation first and then listen. Here, the same thing. Listen, listen. And as I said before, it's extremely important to listen because that's how you're going to develop the listening skills. Okay? Bien. Here, this is about pronunciation. I already mentioned that the H is silent. So, we are not going to say hablo. No, we are going to say hablo. We are going to forget that the H is there. It's only an ornament. We're going to use it when we're writing down the word. Okay. Hola, the same thing. Ahora, hospital. Okay. Bien. And then the double L and the Y, in reality, they have a similar pronunciation. Okay. When we say llamo, ¿verdad? Yo me llamo. So those are examples of the pronunciation. And then we have en vivo. And finally, we get back to the grammar. I already explained to you that if we have an O at the end, the idea is that we are dealing with a masculine noun. If we have an A, we have a feminine noun. I already explained to you that if we have to add a description of an item or a person, that description usually is an adjective, and that adjective is going to keep the agreement. Okay? Bonito, bonita, grande is going to stay the same because it's ending with E. The same thing with azul and español. In this case, it's because we're talking about nationalities. Es español, es española. ¿Sí? Bien. So I want you to go over these and pay a lot of attention. Okay? Remember, if my item or my noun, because a noun could be a person or an animal or a city. If my noun is singular, my adjective has to be singular. If my noun is plural, my adjective has to be plural. But also, the word in front of the noun, which is an article, is going to keep the agreement. Okay? Bien. So read about this, study, and then try to do some activities on this page. Okay? Ejercicio 2.1, por ejemplo, aburrido, aburrida. La clase es aburrida. Horrible. You see, horrible is ending with E, so it's good for both. But divertido is masculine. Okay? Bien. So you can do those activities on your own. 2.2. And remember the expressions of opinions. Para mí, para nosotros, en mi opinión, creo que, and pienso que. You need to know them, okay? Especially for the quiz. In this section, we finally get to verbs, okay? And you have seen verbs already in chapter 1. Por ejemplo, hablo español, ¿sí? So now we are going to see other verbs that are going to behave just like hablar. O estudiar. Yo estudio español. Yo hablo español. Now we have bailar. Bailar, caminar, cantar, comprar, descansar, escuchar, estudiar, hablar, mandar, pasear, trabajar y viajar. And this is basically the explanation on how to conjugate verbs. Okay? So, if you're doing the action the majority of the time, like we'll say like 99% of the time, the ending will be O. For example, let's go back to the infinitives here. Bailar. If I'm talking about myself, I'm going to say yo bailo. Caminar, yo camino. You see the O at the end all the time. See? Cantar, yo canto. Comprar, yo compro. Descansar, yo descanso. Escuchar, yo escucho. ¿Sí? Estudiar, estudio. Hablar, hablo. Mandar, mando. Pasear, paseo. Trabajar, trabajo. Viajar, viajo. So you're going to eliminate the AR and then you're going to plug in an O. See? If the tú is the subject, then instead of using an O, I'm going to use AS. Por ejemplo, tú bailas, tú caminas, tú cantas, tú compras, tú descansas, tú escuchas, tú estudias, tú hablas, tú mandas, tú paseas, tú trabajas, tú viajas, and so on. Ustedes, o perdón, usted o él o ella, instead of AS, is going to be A. Nosotros, amos. Vosotros, hais. Ustedes, han. Ellos o ellas, han. For example, nosotros bailamos. Ellos bailan. So the ending is going to change depending on who is doing the action. Okay? So it's extremely important that you know how this is functioning. Once you have mastered this, you have, I will say, half of the way done. Okay? Half of the way done. So please study them carefully and practice. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. Do the activities here. Okay? The listening activity, the reading activities, completing in this case. Okay? And this one too, 2.6. Those are my suggestions. Okay? Remember, at the end, what we want is to develop a listening, I'm sorry, not a listening skill, but a linguistic skill. A linguistic skill is going to include everything: the listening, the writing, the comprehending, everything. Okay? Bien. And how to express. Okay? Bien. And then we have the verb estar. Do you remember at the beginning of the semester, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien, ¿verdad? So, here we have the conjugations of the verb estar. Do you remember when we were studying the location of, for example, at the beginning, chapter 0, por ejemplo, el mar Caribe está, o la isla está, España está en Europa, ¿verdad? The location. So this is a verb that is going to express location. In English, the meaning is to be, but in Spanish, the definition will be location. It's going to be used to express location. Okay? So location, but also how you feel in a particular period of time. Two uses. Again, one use is to express location. Estoy en la clase. Estoy en la calle. Estoy en el parque. And the second use is to express how you feel, ¿verdad? Estoy contento. I am happy. One thing is to describe yourself as a happy person. That will be a definition. But another thing is to define how you feel in a particular period of time. And this is when we use this verb. Okay? If we want to define ourselves as happy people, then we are going to say nosotros somos, or yo soy feliz, ¿verdad? But if we want to express that we are happy now, we are going to say estoy contenta. Estoy contento. If we want to express the opposite, I'm going to say estoy triste. Estoy triste. If I want to say that I'm well, I'm going to say estoy bien. Or if I want to say that I'm sick, I'm going to say estoy enferma. Estoy enferma. ¿Sí? Estoy enferma, estoy enfermo. So practice. Here we have some activities, match, and then express how they feel, where they are, dónde están, cómo están. Okay? Bien. So, and remember, contento, contenta. So if my subject, mi sujeto es femenino, it will be contenta. If my sujeto es masculino, it will be contento. Okay? If my sujeto is plural, then contentos. Okay? Estamos contentos. Estamos contentas. Ellas están contentas. And then remember, you have to select the right conjugation for the right perspective. Okay? Bien. And then after that, you have some skills that you can read, ¿verdad? And do these activities. These are very good for you to keep developing your linguistic competence because everything is within context and is more complex than at the beginning of the chapter. So it's going to be very helpful. And besides that, they're going to add more vocabulary. Okay? And then ser joven en España. I need you to read, okay, about this topic and start thinking about the questions, okay? Remember that we have the glossary, and every time that you see a little star like this one, the red star, the red star, you can find the meaning here. Recortes, in this case, for example, recortes, cutbacks, okay? Because you can read and decode, but there are some words that are going to be a little bit more challenging, and that's why then you have this list, okay? Perfecto. At the end of the chapter, here, página 63, you have the vocabulary with the meaning, okay? Bien. So that's all. Study, read, and then close everything and go to Eleteca, do the activities assigned for this week. Once that is done, then you can complete the voice threads activities and the discusión, ¿verdad? El pizarrón de discusión, de expresiones, the activities that are supposed to be written. Remember, do not bring anything new. Use what we have learned. And avoid translations. Once you start translating something, I will notice immediately. Okay, so avoid that because you want your points. You are making a lot of efforts and it doesn't make any sense for you to start getting zeros because you are just, using Google, okay, or something like that. And then once that is all those activities are done, then open your quiz. Be ready to sit there and complete it and close everything. It's like taking a quiz in a classroom, okay? So if you have questions, people, I'll be in my office hours, Mondays and Wednesdays from 11, 11 to noon, okay? Bien, hasta luego. Chao, cuídense.